Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Ridge revitalizes Brooke and their romance, while Grace begs Finn to keep her terrible secret. Brooke has been thrown carelessly into the Mediterranean and is drifting, frighteningly motionless, as Ridge swims desperately toward her in Italy. Nick is unconscious on his yacht. After grabbing the unconscious Brooke, Ridge pulls her to another boat, where a man assists him in getting her out of the sea. Brooke, Ridge bed, and breakfast. Donna and Katie are terrified that Nick would pop the question at the Forrester estate. The blonde now has a hunch that their sister might suffer a negative outcome. They hope Brooke is doing well after seeing she hasn't been blogging. Read more. Why we're abandoning Bridge. When Ridge covers Brooke's mouth with his own and then pumps on her chest while begging, "Come on!" all the fans who thought he would perform CPR on her back in Italy are proven right. B&B at Brooke Ridge CPR. Brooke sees the light in her mind. Then, as she approaches Ridge on a beach, who is all in white, she wraps her arms around him. She wakes up after coughing up some seawater and discovers her ex staring down at her. Ridge gives her a kiss, of course. Brooke Ridge gives B&B a kiss. While Ridge promises he would never take Brooke for granted again, Katie and Donna at the Forrester estate wax on about their love for the umpteenth time. "I'll put things right," he assures her. "We'll put things right." B&B with Donna Katie. Is Grace able to maintain her secret? Hope and Liam seem to have nothing else to discuss at Bill's house as they reminisce over his potentially fatal brain tumor for the nth time. Liam is amazed that Dr. Buckingham has given him a fresh lease on life. He questions how he will ever be able to pay her back for making the impossible possible. Finn is currently berating Grace in her office for lying to Liam about having brain cancer, so she could get $1 million for a phony experimental procedure. Finn says he's astonished, stating the obvious. He requests that his co-worker consider the suffering he has caused Liam and his family. After denying that he actually had a brain bleed, Grace begs that she was in a terrible situation. Finn insists on hearing the entire tale. Grace, Finn, B&B. Grace informs Finn that Reese and his gambling debts are to blame for everything. She explains that she and her girls were being stalked by bookies. She gave them a portion of the money, but she was unsure about how to obtain the remaining sum. She provided Liam medication that caused his troublesome symptoms after discovering he was a Spencer. Her goal was to persuade him to accept the treatment. She laments that the Luna's shooting through a hole in her plan, but when Finn saved Liam, she went for it. Finn rubs his head. Grace pleads with Finnegan to comprehend. See also, what became of Susan Flannery? Hope and Liam revisit Reese Buckingham's kidnapping of their daughter Bill's, along with the sinister circumstances of the agonizing deception. They are happy that he is in prison. Liam claims that Grace is an angel, but he has no idea what's happening across town. Hope concurs. She is a saint. I hope Liam B&B. Back at the hospital, Finn lashes out at Grace for tricking Liam as well. She has caused emotional suffering and sorrow. Grace tries to say, but Liam is all right. After what her ex-husband did to Liam and Hope, Finn finds it hard to believe she would do this. She made $1 million by selling her integrity. He can't believe she's asking him to keep her secret. But Grace wheedles. "We can handle this, the two of us," as Finn confesses he hasn't told anyone else about his concerns yet. Grace was forced to stand up for her girls. "I'm pleading with you, Finn." "Pardon me." Brooke is in the hospital, and Hope receives a frightening phone call. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan will receive a concerning phone call because Brooke Logan will be admitted to the hospital. Let's discuss the startling revelations Hope will encounter when she learns that things in Italy took a crazy turn. Brooke will be fine after this water rescue. Thus Ridge Forrester's courage and foresight will be rewarded. Even though Brooke will survive and recover swiftly, she will still be admitted to the hospital after the entire incident. Ridge might demonstrate his compassion by insisting that Brooke be examined by a physician. Ridge's attention will undoubtedly be on Brooke, so he will spoil her and see to it that she is inspected as soon as possible. Any barriers Ridge erected to prevent his reunion with Brooke have obviously collapsed. In the upcoming episodes, Ridge will have to deal with the old emotions that have returned with a vengeance, filling his heart to overflowing. Hope will still be at Bill Spencer's house with Liam Spencer when she receives a beautiful phone call. According to BNB teasers, Brooke will be the one to phone Hope and deliver the disturbing news. Of course, Hope should feel a little more at rest, knowing that Brooke will be the one phoning. At least Hope will be able to talk to Brooke and know that he's okay. Nevertheless, when Hope learns that Brooke fell off Nick Marone's boat and may have been in major jeopardy without Ridge's assistance, she will be devastated. Brooke might tell Hope that her hospitalization is only a precaution and call Ridge her hero. Hope could feel a little better about the situation by the time she cuts off communication with Brooke. After stating that she would return home shortly, Brooke might end the call by saying that everything is fine. Liam will be equally as frightened by the danger that emerged in Naples after Hope tells him what she learned from Brooke. Hope will tell Liam the same tumultuous tale, and he might finally change his mind and consider whether this is indeed a good thing for Brooke's romantic future. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope may ultimately conclude that Brooke and Ridge have been reunited by fate. Grace's appeal to Finn. Ridge is Brooke's hero in a dramatic rescue. According to Wednesday, August 6 spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Grace Buckingham begs John Finn Finnegan, and Ridge Forrester will save Brooke Logan in a spectacular rescue. When Ridge saw Brooke in trouble in Italy, he simply dove into the water. Ridge swims over to assist Brooke, who is trying to stay afloat after falling off Nick Marone's boat due to steering issues. According to BNB teasers, Ridge will succeed in reaching Brooke and dragging her to safety. Brooke will be enmeshed in this moment of appreciation for Ridge, since she will receive a surprise hero in the form of her ex. Naturally, Nick might be able to observe for himself that Brooke and Ridge remain close. It will be clearly visible in front of Nick, who might have to deal with Ridge's rage about the boat's issues and the risk he just put Brooke in. Now that Grace has admitted to fabricating the brain cancer and falsifying Liam Spencer's diagnosis, Finn will be devastated when he returns to Los Angeles. Grace has acknowledged that Finn was correct in his assumptions, but she feels as though she was forced into an unworkable situation. Grace was facing some frightening threats since Reese Buckingham had accumulated a significant amount of debt from gambling. Grace was prepared to do whatever it took to acquire the money by their deadline, since these crooks were serious and knew where her girls lived. Once Grace has clarified a few more points, she will implore Finn to remain silent. Grace will beg Finn to put this swindle behind him and never discuss it with anybody else. Grace will wish that they can simply move on, but Finn will not back down and will insist that Liam hear the truth. The same is true for Bill Spencer, who spent millions of dollars on a miracle surgery even though Liam never had a tumor. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Grace will feel as though everything is falling apart around her, but she will soon have to cave into Finn's pressure and inform Liam of some amazing news. Bill's startling tirade and Taylor's emotional collapse during bridge. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Bill Spencer will lose it all over Grace Buckingham for defrauding him of $1 million and fabricating Liam Spencer's illness. Grace is uneasy as he won't hold back. Grace will tell John Finn Finnegan the truth about Liam. She will acknowledge that Liam has never had cancer or a brain disorder. She used someone else's scans and lied to him. She was aware that Bill would do whatever it took to save Liam if he learned of his condition. Finn will be unable to speak. He finds it incomprehensible that Liam never died. All of it was false. Grace urges Finn to keep it between them as he expresses his amazement. No harm was done because Liam is still alive. She is informed by Finn that it is not an option. Bill and Liam need to know the truth. Bill's outburst of anger. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Finn will inform Hope Logan, Liam, and Bill about Grace's confession. He will reveal that Grace required funds to settle some of Reese Buckingham's previous debts. She conned Bill, because she was unable to raise the funds. She was aware that he would do whatever it took to save his son. Bill is shocked by what he has heard. In order to get his money back, he wants to confront Grace. Grace sent his money to the debt collector, so it's too late to get it back. She is not eligible for a refund. Bill would be content if Grace left town and never returned, but he will probably threaten to have her jailed. He wishes to never again see her face. Taylor's bridge breakdown. Taylor Hayes finding out that Ridge Forrester will be abandoning her for Brooke Logan for the millionth time is another heartbreaking plot point that will be featured on The Bold and the Beautiful. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor will be furious with Ridge for once again shattering her heart. She can claim that Brooke manipulated the situation to entice Ridge, and by pointing out that she was aware that this would occur in Italy. Ridge is likely to defend Brooke and ask Taylor to hold him accountable for this. The fact that Taylor and Ridge reside at Eric Forrester's estate will make matters more difficult. Ridge may even disclose to Taylor that his father has been pressuring Brooke to end their engagement for the past few weeks. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor's emotional collapse will cause Ridge to feel a great deal of guilt. Will he remain steadfast and get back together with Brooke? When Ridge Forrester plunged headfirst into the Mediterranean to rescue Brooke Logan from what might have been her drowning fate, the waves off the Amalfi coast roiled fiercely, mirroring the turmoil inside his heart. As he struggled against the flow, a desperate mix of rage, terror, and desperation drove him toward her motionless body. Time seemed to stop. Unaware of the disaster his faulty piloting had brought about, Nick Marone lay slumped asleep on his yacht's deck. Ridge grabbed Brooke, who was still and drifting aimlessly, and drew her into his arms while he swam them both to safety, not just out of the sea, but in a metaphorical sense, back from years of lost chances, suffering, and pride. Ridge spoke words of love and supplication. She was hoisted onto a nearby boat by a local fisherman, and Ridge performed CPR on her while shivering and uttering her name and pleading for her to return. White light and smooth sand filled Brooke's imagination, and as she strolled down a surreal beach, Ridge materialized in front of her in white linen, his arms spread wide, love brimming from his heart. She fell into his arms as, in fact, her eyes sprung open and locked on Ridge as her lungs let out seawater. Soaked and shivering, he kissed her, their past melting in tears and salt. At the Forrester estate in Los Angeles, Donna and Katie Logan were pacing uneasily, feeling that something was off. The sisters became increasingly concerned when they discovered that Brooke hadn't posted anything in hours, as Donna's instincts were screaming louder than ever. On another scene, Liam Spencer and Hope Logan reminisced about Bill Spencer's second chance at life, which was made possible by Dr. Grace Buckingham, while temporarily sheltered on his estate. Liam waxed poetic on how he would pay her back, still in awe at having been cured of a brain tumor that was thought to be incurable. The true drama, however, took place at University Hospital across town. Dr. Grace was forced into a symbolic corner by John Finnegan, who confronted her with the lies that had almost ruined Liam's life. Cornered but unyielding, Grace revealed the twisted truth. She had used borrowed images to fake Liam's MRI, used drugs to make him feel ill, and said he was dying in order to get $1 million from Bill Spencer to settle the gambling debts her ex-husband Reese had left her. Violent men were threatening her girls, so Grace, in a downward spiral, followed the last remaining route. Finn shuddered, appalled that she had taken advantage of the Spencer family's need and used medical power to control a patient, leaving Liam emotionally damaged. Nevertheless, Grace pleaded for forgiveness, addressing Finn as a father and a physician. "Would you not take any precautions to keep your son safe?" She invoked Hayes as she sobbed. She maintained that there had been no actual harm done and that Liam was secure, alive, and even content. Grace pressed harder, begging, "Please, keep this secret. For me, for Paris, for Luna, for all of us." But how could he? Finn was so angry and betrayed that he could hardly speak. Knowing that Hope's tears were staged, Liam's pain was made up, and Bill's sadness was genuine. How could he conceal the truth? Finn was rattled as he left her office, his humanity and his Hippocratic duty at odds. As physicians checked Brooke's vitals in a nearby hospital in Italy, Ridge sat by her bedside and held her hand. Hope was relieved to hear her mother's voice when she received the startling phone call from Brooke herself, but her hands trembled as she heard Brooke describe the near drowning and Ridge's valiant rescue. After hanging up, Hope said to Liam, "Ridge saved her life." Perhaps that is a sign. Liam concurred. Sometimes destiny demands an explanation. Ridge surely believed so. "We've wasted so much time," he said, sitting next to Brooke. "Let's not spend any more time." Brooke nodded, her eyes hazy, her voice catching. "Let's figure out how to get back." However, when Finn eventually revealed the truth, anarchy broke out halfway around the globe. He called Hope, Liam, and Bill into a hospital private conference room. The mood was strained when they got there, with Liam calm and unaware, Bill agitated, and Hope interested. Finn said plainly, a tumor never existed. No surgery was performed. Grace feigned everything. "I have evidence." Initially, nobody said anything. Then, pallid and trembling, Liam stood up. "What do you say?" Finn gave his actual scans to him. "You were given a medication. You were induced to have symptoms. All you could think about was terror." Bill stood with his eyes wild and his fist clenched. "She took something from me. She demanded payment for my son's life." Liam started to crumble as he recalled the tears he wept, the farewell messages he sent, and the time he squandered believing he was dying. Hope fell into a chair, placing her palm over her lips and sobbing, "Oh my God! I wasn't ill. I wasn't going to die. I got duped." Bill bellowed and rushed out. He would later track down Grace and threaten her with arrest, lawsuits, and more. Bereaved, Grace informed him that the money had been paid to abusive collectors who would have harmed her daughters. Bill, however, showed no mercy. "You messed with the wrong family." In the meantime, Ridge and Brooke made their official reunion by returning to Los Angeles with their hands clasped together as they arrived at Forrester Creations. But Taylor Hayes was waiting, and not in a good mood. At the mansion, she faced Ridge and gave him an emotional slap with the truth. "I knew this would happen." Ridge accepted responsibility and made an effort to clarify, but Taylor's heart broke. "Italy was just another excuse for you to crawl back to her." She cried, "I trusted you." Ridge expressed sadness, but no apology could make things right. "I thought we were building a future." That evening, Taylor moved out. At Forrester, Donna subtly reminded Katie that maybe Ridge and Brooke's bond is irreversible, while Eric reminded Ridge that love cannot be forced. With a start, Liam became disoriented. He had accepted death, said the world farewell, and realized it had all been a hoax.